G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing today? I am incredibly sore after returning to the gym since breaking my rib, but we move. Man, I was contemplating doing the video today, not because of anything sad or super intense, but it's more of a, well, I was trying to keep it as good under wraps as I could, but because it's not going to be for ages, look, it's subject to change, but I was basically just here to talk about my dilemma behind the scenes about picking the new bike. Now, I said I have a rough idea of what I want. Now, originally, because I'm not going to buy this bike anymore, I've changed my mind about it entirely. My goal was to buy a Street Fighter V2 in Storm Green because Sergeant Wombat, dark green bike, very, very sick bike, honestly. I thought it was beautifully picked. But unfortunately, the Street Fighter is too expensive, and even if I managed to get the money to buy one, the running cost is just not worth it. So, with my current income being the price of of said bike for the year at the moment, so look, it ain't gonna happen. If I was making a hell of money, maybe. So maybe in the future, but at the moment, unfortunately, ain't no bike of the Ducati name coming into my possession anytime soon. But I was looking at a couple of other bikes in the second-hand market. Now, one very particular bike I like is the Triumph Street Triple 765 RS in that lovely, lovely red that's coming out in. If I could afford that one, I might go for that because I think they are sexy bikes. I don't care what you think about the side profile, Mr. Mini Hulk from the Discord. I like them. And of course, one bike that is a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Less popular in the motovlogging scene, being the FTR 1200, because I think the FTR is a magnificent machine, besides the petrol tank being a pain in the ass because of the obvious shape it is. So filling it up takes a bit more time. Also, the bike's a bit of a tank. It weighs a bit much. That's saying something. So it's not a light bike. It's like 230 kilos or something. But that 1200 V-twin being absolutely sexy, that is more so up on my list. And I'd be pretty happy with, FTR or the, someone's calling me. It's a shame, I'm busy right now. So the FTR would be awesome. The only other bike I can really see myself potentially going for would be an MT-09, mainly because I've ridden an MT-09, they're cheap as dog shit, and look, they're sort of in the realistic range. The only thing is, I don't particularly like the way they look. I do like the second gen one the most out of all four of them, as it's the only one that really looks somewhat interesting, and that's the one I've ridden. It's got a smaller engine than the newer models, but I don't really care. Like, let's be honest, they're fast as shit for street riding, and they're really a street bike before they're anything else. So there's nothing wrong with the joys of an MT-09 on said road, and in fact I might be able to get a chance to ride a new one of those sometime soon, so stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. But man, the idea of riding a stupidly powerful bike is always cool, but unfortunately it's not always realistic, especially in Australia where everything's a bloody nanny rule and you can't do this, you can't do that. It's just really dries the fun out of a lot of the choices you can have. It's like, cool, I want an R1. Riding it legally would be uncomfortable. I wouldn't mind an RSV4 if I could afford it, but same rules apply. Where in God's name am I going to use a bike of such power, unfortunately? So I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. It's a nifty little side street, that one. I don't think I've ever been down it. But yeah, so currently my decisions for a new bike are, I say top priority would be the Triumph Street Triple and the FTR 1200. One that's sort of on the back burner is the CB 1000, because I do like the look of the CB 1000. I think they are magnificently put together. They are very, very sexy bikes. They don't make much power for what they are. That's the thing that annoys me. They're only a little bit more powerful than MT-09, which, well, it should be. It's a bloody leader bike compared to a 9. But it's not like an MT-10 for say, where an MT-10 makes hella power, but oh well. I suppose realistically, most of these bikes are like 2.5 times more powerful than my current bike, so I can't be too upsetty spaghetti about it. It doesn't really need to be 3 times as powerful. Like I know the Street Fighter V2 it's about 3 times as powerful as my Honda Rebel, which doesn't sound too crazy until you ride one and you go, oh yeah, that thing got some oomph to it. So, look, the more I ride, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm confused. I don't know what a man wants in this world. But, oh, can I sneak through here? I think I absolutely can. Oh, say less, brother. Imagine having to wait for traffic, dude. Oh no, I've made a mistake! Now I'm gonna have to wait for traffic. But yeah, so look, the FTR 1200 is a incredibly torquey boy, which is what is more interesting to me, honestly, than anything else. And I do love a V-twin, so that's why it's so high on my list. I don't really care the fact that it has a small petrol tank and the fact that it has an annoying to fill petrol tank. Because look, whilst annoying, it's definitely compromisable, okay? Hella torque, very lush noise, sexy looking motorcycle. And you go, oh, well, I can only get about 190 kilometers out of the tank, or 200 kilometers out of the tank. And if any of you guys own one in the comments, let me know, because I would be more than happy to hear about your opinions on the bike. The Triumph Street Triple, they did make the tank a bit smaller in the current gen one, and the exhaust is welded, so if you want a custom exhaust, you do have to make a full system, which is, well, I'm going to have to make my bike sound nice. A damn tragedy, that's for sure. So, unfortunately, in that regard, it's not too sad, but it's just expensive. The Ducati, whilst nice, is never going to happen. It's a bit of a fever dream unless I win a shitload of money. But even then, I don't know if I'd do it anymore. So, I'm fighting some struggles. I'm not understanding what I'm after, but I am trying. You understanding? I am trying. So, CB1000, lovely retro styling. That lovely, what is it, 2006 CBR engine or something, I think it is. It's a very old CBR 1000 engine. That much I know is factual. Whereas obviously the MT-09 and all that is a bit more modernized. Even if it's the older model, it's still completely fine. So that's one thing I got to deal with. But there's so many options, and you know what? I'm not going to fucking wait for this. I was going to go that way, but that light's going to be a pain in my ass, and I can't be bothered. But I am full of all kinds of dilemmas in the bike riding scene, dude. So if you're wondering why every time I ask, I'm always like, oh yeah, I decided, but I'm not sure, and then a week later I change my mind. This is why. FTR, CB, bloody MT-09, and the Triumph are all fantastic bikes at vastly different price points. Now, when I'm talking FTR, and that I'm obviously not talking brand new, because a brand new FTR is like fucking $28,000. And I'm sorry, if I'm buying brand new, that bike would never be in the equation, because that is incredibly overpriced. But you can get them secondhand for $10,000 to $15,000 in good nick. Now, I'm not going to be buying the earlier models if I get one because of that rim size difference, and I don't really want the smaller tyres. Or was it because they're an awkward size for options? As everyone knows, that's why there was a lot of complaints about them. But if I do, I'd be getting... I do like the FTR Carbon, the one that came out in red, but some of those newer ones are not too bad either. It's just a matter of I need to make some moolah and then get my shit in order, because there is so many options to make and purchase and cry about, so... Oh boy, I'm gonna be looking forever. Oh, I had to pull over there just quickly and check who called me. It was only my mate, nothing too crazy. I thought it was my job saying, hello, you have a single client this week. But man, I am big struggle, but I think I'm pretty happy with the choices I've come down to. The thing about motorcycles and being a motorcycle enthusiast is that there's a shitload of bike options, and that means when you finally want to buy a new one, it's really hard, man. It's really hard. So, unfortunately, that's my problem I'm trying to overcome. But without further ado, that's life, I suppose. We gotta make decisions. If only I had that rich man money. How is it I figured out the rich man problem of decision. Oh, then again, if you're stupid rich, you just buy them all. But that looks like a bank. That is an ugly ass house. Tell me, guys, down below if you had this problem picking a bike. I definitely wasn't this indecisive when I picked my first bike. I wasn't perfectly set, but when I found the Rebel, I sort of did pick that up pretty quickly. But the next bike, man, having the full power as being an option and not being restricted changes quite a lot in the regard of choice, because now you're like, well, before I just had to pick a pretty looking bike, but now that I have full power, I really need to pick a full power bike that looks good at the same time, you know what I mean? And they all have different power points, which makes it a little bit more annoying to decide, because you got to be like, well, do I want this one or do I want the other one, which is like 10 horsepower more? It's but that's pretty much all I wanted to get off my chest today, ladies and gentlemen. So I do hope you enjoyed said video. I will obviously keep you all updated in the future with what happens, and obviously when I pick a bike, you're going to see it when I buy it anyway. It's not like I'm going to dip off YouTube the moment I decide what fucking bike I want. But I do hope you enjoy the video, and you enjoyed sticking around and watching your man go crazy in the meantime. But without further ado, I do hope you take it easy, keep it cheesy, and, well, if you're struggling to pick a new bike, let us know down below or in the Discord, ask some questions and we'll answer you them. So have a good day. Peace. Bye.